Okay, I have a notification that was given out to all the homeowners on Franklin Street. Their work will be starting on the curbs. The work on the curbs on Franklin Street will be starting on Wednesday, July the 26th. And they hope to be done by August the 18th. So it's quite a lengthy project. They're going to start on the top north side of Franklin Street, work on down to 9W, and then switch back up and go to the south side of Franklin Street on down. This letter I have here explains to everyone in the neighborhood just what they'll be doing, what they expect out of them. Traffic will be flowing on one side of the street or the other. Their driveways may be blocked during certain periods of the time of day and what have you. They'll try to coordinate with the neighbors. So if everybody on Franklin Street can just cooperate, I'm sure this company, which I've met a couple of the key players, they're nice people, and I'm sure they'll work out the project without any big problems. Okay, we paid out on July the 21st, $161,330. Big items were equipment and product for ice and snow removal. Your weather's changed real quick, but I guess we got to look at that coming up. That was $22,142. Landfill charges were $24,803. The Highland Falls Library, their quarterly contribution was $59,250. Our monthly group insurance payment was $20,544. The wood chips for Brooks's Lake Park Playground was $4,200. Legal fees were $6,491, and IT to the town of New Windsor, they supply our IT services, $3,135. Any questions on any of those numbers? Okay. 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we asked the town board's permission to put onto Auctions International a number of pieces of equipment. The auctions are over, and they've awarded total of $19,000 we're getting back from Auctions International, $19,396. Very quickly. And by the way, that cost us $120 in auction fees. And our 205 International Sanitation truck netted $4,250. Our old Chevy Blazer that was falling apart, we got $1,025 for. The 2000 International plow truck, we got $5,100 for. The Perkins 2-yard tipper, we all know what a tipper is. We got $500 for that. One of the generators, we got $1,950. The Guardian 8 generator netted $970. The Generac 2000 series netted $2,550. The Generac, that was a 2001. Year 2001 netted us $3,150. We had a couple of FM, VHF, and FM radios. But 5 of them, we got $21. And the other ones, 5 Motorola's, weren't bid on at all, so we'll throw them away. Pat is requesting that from that money, he's already got it spent, but from that money, he'd like $6,000 to purchase a leaf container, which they use to vacuum leaves in the fall. The one we have right now is falling apart. It's beyond repair. So I'll tell him it's okay unless the board has some objection.
Just procedurally, I'm not,
Yeah.
it's a big spend without, even though it's a
Yeah.
cash flow kind of thing, right?
Correct. I mean, normally follow the purchasing policy on that. I don't know
Yeah.
what he added and.
You would need three quotes.
Yeah, he just wants that money, not to exceed 6,000, so he must have priced it out from somewhere. And his other recommendation he has with the rest of the money is to put it in the town hall reserve fund for anticipating a generator for this building, which I think we sorely need. We have a generator for about everything, excepting this building. And we have needed one in the past. So I think we've been skating on thin ice for years here without a generator. So that would be $13,000 towards a new generator.
Whatever the, whatever the cost of the generator, I think that we should have one.
Yeah.
Because should we need to operate our emergency service committee, this is where they would meet. They can't really go to the police department. They don't have room for them. And they would be busy also. Fire department would be busy. So we really need to at least have internet and electric here.
I'll work on with Pat and Michael Perillo to come up with a price that we're going to aim for.
So you'll have to sell me on this still,
Sell you on the generator?
on the generator, yeah. I'm not on board yet.
You're not on board?
Yeah,
Like,
all right. I feel like the instances are very rare. The generator is, a percentage reliable, and I'd have to understand the size of the committee that would not fit in the ambulance hall building to.
Okay.
All right.
I'm assuming that would be natural gas, be the way to go.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, we wouldn't be fooling with anything else, yeah. And we've got it right here in the town hall.
And we make that flow regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And last time we had a major event here, you couldn't get in the front door of town hall.
right.
Last time what?
You had an
Right,
event here,
right.
you couldn't even get in the front door of the building.
It was the,
because of
when it flooded.
water, the flooding.
Right, but as soon as that water went down, the sewer plant was down, if you remember.
Yes.
And it took twice a day here on the phones with the county and with Orange and Rockland for a good week to get things back into service here. Because every other municipality was trying as hard as we were.
Well, I agree with the sewer plant needing a generator, but I'm not sure how long town hall was without power that would have been of value. So that's-
Well, except that, how do you operate as restoring services if you can't get out to the county emergency services? They had daily briefings.
Well, cell phones or, but
Well,
it's a lot of money, it's just,
we'll aim for it and
yeah.
see what it is, and then we can discuss on whether it's worth it or not.
yeah, okay.
In the meantime, where does the incoming money go? Does it
Sure.
go into general reserve?
Yeah, I
know.
Or a general fund?
Just into the general fund. It's just an income line. Probably not a budgeted
And then we
income
would have
line,
to-
but
and then
it's
we would
it's
have
like
to
any
move
other
it-
source
and
of
then we would have to
income.
move it into wherever we wanted it.
And,
And-
yeah.
and-
To-
It would go to a revenue account, and then if the board decided to use it for the leaf container that Matt is referring to, we would do a budget transfer
Right.
from a revenue account to an expenditure account to cover it. And then if it was going to go into the reserve fund, for the town hall repair reserve fund, similarly, the board would approve moving it into the reserve fund.
And just a reminder on that particular reserve fund, right? There's already monies in that reserve fund, but when you spend from that fund, you do require a public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, almost all of them we have. That's fine. Okay. We have a budget transfer from the assessor's equipment to assessor's vehicle maintenance. Auto repairs are been a little bit higher than they budgeted. That's $100. I have a motion to accept the budget transfer.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Justin, do you want to do the
Sure.
Superior?
Yep, certainly. So Gene Tallman, the assessor, and I have been working with the school district council on all of your tax certiorari's, but Rite Aid was entering its third year right here on Main Street. We think a very favorable outcome, a less than a 5% reduction. It will cover the 3 prior tax years, and it would hold the assessment in place for the next 3 years. It's a modest reduction of about $87,200 in assessed value. The way the timing works, you'd be responsible for 2 years of refunds. Your refunds would be approximately, in total, $860, which is incredibly modest when they pay approximately $50,000 in taxes each year. So it's been school board council has agreed, and it's going before that board as well. The assessor is very comfortable with it, and I recommend it as well. There is a consent judgment attached, which would be the model of the agreement and would be submitted to the court. So simply before you is a resolution authorizing the settlement and the reduction in assessed value.
Do I have a motion to
You
move the
do.
resolution? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Edsel?
Aye.
Councilmember King?
Aye.
Councilmember Gunter?
Aye.
Councilmember Voltaire?
Aye.
Supervisor Lindsay?
Aye. Board liaison reports, Bill?
Had a meeting with the High Point Utility on the 18th of July. What was new there was that 3 of the 4 areas of installation for the village, whereby they're leveraging their generators, speaking of generators, to participate in demand response, have been enrolled in the program and tested. They're having a problem with wiring on one of the other ones, so that's revenue for the village. And
You've actually used it?
I
Shut them down? or-
don't think they're all hooked up and ready to go. I think they're waiting for the mandatory test.
Oh, okay.
But they get money from the program regardless. If there is an event, then they get more money. There was discussion about the generator down at the sewer plant. We talked about that as a board before. And I'll be reaching out to Kelly to get a copy of the bill for down there so they can give us a better idea of what the opportunity is. But basically, you'll get a call, someone will have to go down to the sewer plant within a minimum of 4 hours and, get the thing lined up to participate in the program.
Well, we couldn't do it at the town hall if we don't have a generator.
You absolutely couldn't. And let's see what the numbers are. When I saw it for the sewer plant, which is a really big generator, it was marginally worth dispatching the employees down there and stuff. But no, but that's fine. I knew when I said it, I was opening myself up for it. But yeah, there is a return on investment there.
Okay.
I think that's about it. I'll talk to you offline. I've been approached from a citizen regarding the cemetery and getting water up there via leveraging the wells that we did test drillings many years ago. So you may have been approached already too, but
I talked to Pat about that, and I'm not sure what his problem was with it, but I'll talk to him again.
okay.
Then I'll let you know what he
Yeah,
said.
yeah, so you and I can talk offline and
I think there was a local contractor that wants to do the work.
provide the labor
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, we're talking about
It'd be a solar powered pump, leveraging one of the test well drillings, pump the water up to the tank.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the elevation change. Those can, if you're not trying to get, a huge output from there, it's not really huge outlay to do that, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Pat.
All right, okay. That's
Councilman King.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening to the folks at home. So I have a couple comments here about the seniors. The trip to Yonkers, which was scheduled for July 26th, has been canceled due to the vendor for transportation canceling. That was West Point Tours apparently, for some reason doesn't go or does not want to go to Yonkers for this trip. And so there's a process of trying to reschedule that trip to a later date. Also, beginning on August 8th, the Senior Center will have 4 days of activities starting on Tuesday, the 8th, from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Folks can come to the center and do arts and crafts. Then on Wednesday and Thursday, from 11:30 to 3 p.m., there'll be bingo. And then on Friday, the senior movie matinee, and doors will open at 12 p.m. They're planning, the senior coordinator is planning to do weekly activities. It should be noted that the village is planning on doing some construction on the bathrooms, and if that does occur, then they may have to change the schedules. Also, the last thing I'd comment on is that the senior coordinator is also working on implementing and collaborating with Newburgh Senior Center that will allow a activities trip with both senior centers to go together. So a lot of talk about exchange or collaborations with Cornwall and Newburgh and other senior centers so folks can get out and meet different people. And that's all I have this week.
Thank you, sir. I saw Ann Molina today, and she was talking about what sounds like a very ambitious project, but nice, out of the senior center, coming up with some trips. She threw an example to Niagara Falls. Now, that would be open to all ages, not seniors in particular, and it would be out-of-pocket cost. So, that's...
Right. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, sounds good. June?
Okay.
June, while I'm thinking about it, after the meeting, I'd like to see you and the chief for just a very brief 5 minutes.
Okay,
Okay?
sure.
Thank you.
On July the 11th, I attended the Art Walk reception, which was prior to on the 15th, the Art Walk itself. It was very nice. All of the artists were introduced, and they spoke about their work, and Councilman King was there also. And hats off again to Cindy Maudlin, Susan Wick, and their committee. I mean, it's really very nice. And also, we had an emergency management committee meeting, and that's chaired by Jeannie Lent. She had a very nice presentation on rail emergencies, and there are many very volatile and dangerous subjects moving along our rail corridor, as well as through our community on Route 9W. So I'm sure that most people don't even think about the explosive materials that are going by, but they're there. So the committee is working on being prepared for things such as that. And then I attended a meeting at the 911 Center to discuss the shared services program, which is locally and with the county. It's the result of a law enacted as part of the state budget, which requires counties develop ideas for countywide property tax savings. The attendance at the meeting was cities, villages, and towns, and it was a mandatory meeting. And I represented the supervisor. He was not able to make it. Services that are combined in 2007 would be 17 would be eligible for a one-time grant, and the submission of the plan to the county legislative body is August the 1st. Now, that committee is going to meet one more time before August the 1st to review or bring in any ideas. And speaking with the supervisor, well, first of all, let me say the county is doing that interoperability radio system for the entire countywide, and they're providing the radios, and there's new towers, the antennas, and it's all through a multi-million-dollar grant. So that's one of the things they're going to use for their part. And I was talking with the supervisor about what we could do. And really, locally would be with the village, because that's our closest neighbor. And we've already done most of the things that we could do. We have now a consolidated planning board, a consolidated zoning board of appeals. In this building, we have the building department and the code enforcement for both the town and the village. The town does the trash collection. They have the recreation department here. We have the assessor for the town and the village. The town handles dog control for the town and the village. The ambulance service is funded through the town taxes, and we have the combined court system here. The only, so the other large items that could be shared or consolidated, not large, just maybe some smaller ones I couldn't think of, would be highway and police. So I don't think we're gonna do that in a week, but that's savings that could be made. If the program for, this was, I happen to think of this, the program for centralized courts is complete, and I'm not sure that it is. Justin, have you heard any more on that?
Nope.
Okay. I know they're talking about it, and the municipalities are trying to push the date off because it's gonna cost them money. But I'll check, and if that's completed.
Yeah, and I can make some calls as well.
Yeah, maybe we could share that with the county and ask them to pick up all of the transportation costs that we would incur for centralized courts. The county's already providing a health officer for us and our dispatching. And the village would be eligible for that one-time grant if they wish to take advantage of the county's dispatching system. So with some other municipality, but that, we're talking about close. So that's it. It sounds like a good program, only because we're being forced into doing it. But as I said, we've done most of it already. And because we've already done it, we can't use that. It has to be something new and renewing and sustaining. So we'll see what the county plan comes up with, and
And I thank you for going to that.
it was very interesting.
You're going again this Thursday.
Yes.
No, she already said she wasn't going to go. I'm not that I was telling her.
Good thing I know the way out there.
Yes, ma'am.
You're good? You're good, June? Okay. Not much from me. Our assessor did attend a training up in Ithaca regarding solarization. Got a lot of information, although I think she learned quite a bit. I think as far as how solar affects our assessor's office, the verdict is still out. So she learned a lot, but as far as how things affect the overall functioning of assessment in New York State, we're not quite sure how that's gone down yet. One thing I just wanted to mention, Wednesday evening at the center, there is going to be a suicide prevention workshop at 5:30. It's open to everyone and free, presented by the Mental Health Association of Orange County. And then just one other thing that came across my inbox this afternoon. I don't know if you guys caught it yet, but it came from the Orange County Department of Planning, and I just thought this was kind of interesting. Apparently, they're working on engaging the public for the creation of a new comprehensive plan for the county, and they're looking for localized input. So they actually have set up like an interactive map. This is what it sounds like, where residents can click on a URL for the community that they live in and give feedback about things that they would like to see, ideas as far as community planning. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and there's actually a link for members of the town of Highlands, and maybe we can get that up on our website for anybody who's interested. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
I received a letter from Major General German. Ty, I don't know if you're familiar with, New York State has a New York State Army Guard. Not National Guard, not reserves. It's another branch that, it compares to down south, they call them militia.
Oh, well, that wasn't familiar.
Yeah, and they basically have Camp Smith. That's where they're centered in there. The New York State Guard is centered in Camp Smith. And I got a letter from them saying that the New York Army National Guard is proposing to install a detect, harrier, sense, and avoid radar antenna at the Pinnacle location atop Manitowoc Mountain within the boundaries of Camp Smith and Cortlandt Manor. Purpose of this, Army and Army National Guard range safety protocols mandate that airspace above and in the general vicinity of military small arms ranges be monitored at all times for low-flying commercial and private aircraft during the firing of live ammunition. Due to the regular presence of bald eagles in the general area, the range airspace is also monitored for passing bird flocks and raptors. This is currently accomplished by human observers posted at various locations during the live fire range operations. The addition of the radar to this current procedure is expected to enhance the reliability and range of detection, thus improving overall safety. So if anybody's interested, there's much more to this letter, which I'm losing my voice as it is.
You had sent it out via email, and
Yeah.
that was attached, but it said there were some pictures or...
Okay.
Yeah,
I-
everything didn't come
didn't see
through.
I couldn't get them either.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
all right. So I think it's very interesting. Ambulance, the board of directors notified me, and they thanked me for, if you remember a few weeks ago, I was asking for support in the ambulance corps, if anybody wanted to join, go to work, what have you. They have 3 interviews coming up for 3 drivers as a result of us asking for more help, which I think was very, very nice. For the month of June, they had 61 calls. 27 went to St. Luke's Cornwall Hospital, or the Newburgh campus. 26 of them, basically half of them, did not go to the hospital, or did not enter hospitals, that's a better word. Hudson Valley got 4, Good Sam and Suffern got 2, and Orange Regional Medical Center got 2. And in looking at the town of Highlands, or the news of the Highlands, I'm very proud of this little article here, and if Tierney would take a shot of this. I'm very happy to see these headlines. Highland Falls PD and Town of Highlands PD dig into a string of burglaries. It's just really nice, Chief. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to Chief Scott. Working together, you took care of some of those burglaries, and I hope tonight you'll give us a little more explanation of what I'm giving right now. But it's just nice to see us working together. Excellent.
Did the chief want to say anything?
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay.
give
I'm
me a
sorry.
chance.
No, well, you were just talking about it, so I thought you skipped over him.
Kelly, do you have anything?
Just the budget schedule.
Okay. We'll catch that a little later on in the meeting. Chief?
Sir, I'll be quick.
That's
Thank you very
okay.
much.
Take your time.
Yes, I was alerted to the fact that there was a commercial burglary in town, only one burglary that occurred here, but some had occurred in the village. So the next day, I reached out to Chief Scott. We agreed to pool our intel and our resources, so Chief Scott and I had a meeting. We let both departments know if they had something in the area to alert the other departments, so either we could be on the town line or the village line. And then today I met with the state police, they're involved as well. So we're actively investigating these burglaries. We ask our citizens to be vigilant. We rather deem it not necessary to be there than them deem it not necessary. So if they see something, let us know and we'll respond. It's been a great investigation. Hope that all of those responsible are brought to justice. But we've, both our patrol units have enjoyed working with each other. And we're additionally going to be with them on National Night Out August 1st. We're going to have some town police officers with the Village PD and National Night Out. So things seem to be moving along.
Nice, very nice.
I can't say enough about the men and women of the department. They work very hard, and they've actually come up with a lot of intel themselves. When the state police have asked for some follow-up, they've gone out, they got intel, and they sent it down to the investigators. So hopefully, we arrest everybody, so we'll do our best.
And you know, Chief, one bit of advice, I just happened to see something on TV tonight, I think it was in Sea Caucus. On one particular street, these French students went down and they found, I think it was 23 cars that were unlocked and stole items out of all of these cars. 23 cars unlocked on one street. And they caught them as they were prepared to do another street.
Seized their passports as well.
So what I'm trying to say is to our local people, if you park outside, don't do like I do and leave, well, I shouldn't say that. And leave. But I had one lesson in my place. I had my car parked in the parking lot of the restaurant, and it was locked, and it ended up in the junkyard in Newark. So they can, if they want to, they can get into your car, but don't make it easy for them. That's absolutely not. All right. The planning board notified me that they would like to hire replace their secretary who retired from the job. Would that be the right word?
Yes.
Okay. And they would like to hire Clarissa Sarcano. I think I gave.
Scarano.
Serrato.
Scarano.
Serrato.
Close.
Okay, anyway.
Moving on.
Moving on. So, I think that, did I give everybody her paperwork, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this would be for the planning board only, because the secretary used to be for planning and ZBA. She's not leaving the ZBA, she's only leaving the planning board. So, that would be hiring her for, $43.25 an hour. That sounds like a lot, but she only gets 2 hours per planning board meeting. And if there is any work to do after the meeting at home on pages over 4 pages, she gets paid $5.75 a page. Okay? So do I have a motion to hire this young lady at the wage I just mentioned, probation maximum, if she, would that make her a county employee? Do we do probation on her? We still do, okay. So I have a motion to hire this young lady?
Yes. So moved.
And by the way, that was the only person that applied for the job. They did advertise.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so,
Those minutes are verbatim as well, so that's just to help justify that rate. I mean, to your point, it's a lot of work at home.
oh, okay.
After that meeting.
Yes,
And I can speak from experience, not from the planning board, but doing verbatim minutes is a lot of work.
and Fran DeWitt will be staying on as the ZBA secretary. Okay, believe it or not, here we are in end of July, and we're looking at the budget for next year, and all the meetings we have to do, so Kelly has put together a tentative schedule. I'll say tentative because anything can change during this period of time. So that's going to put us to work almost every Monday for the month of August through mid-September, end of September. What I'm proposing, and if anyone has a problem, I'm proposing that we start our regular meetings at 6 o'clock. Budget meeting to follow. That way, if we start our regular meetings at 6 o'clock, we can get our business done, we can get rid of Justin at the end of the meeting, and does anybody have a problem getting here at 6? And Bill, you're the only one I'm looking at right now.
It's always tight and it's hard to say.
Okay, but if you can...
Do my best.
We'll do it, okay. So is that all right with everyone? So then I'm going to just make a simple motion that we announce that our regular meetings and our special meetings for budget will begin at 6 PM,
Beginning August 14th.
beginning August 14th through September the 25th.
So every meeting starts at 6?
Yes.
And then, Kelly, can you, on October 2nd, it's not a regular meeting night, but do we have to have a small meeting to present the budget? Is that how that works?
Explain those dates, Kelly, please.
So, the tentative budget on Monday, October 2nd, there is not a regular meeting, but the next Monday is a holiday.
Right.
So you may want to have a meeting that Monday.
Okay.
Because there isn't one the following
Gotcha.
Monday, and then I would present the tentative budget to you at that.
Okay.
So that's what.
Gotcha, that's what that's-
I just wanted to
okay.
make sure that might be.
Yeah, no,
the best
that
way to
makes
do
sense
it
to me.
over.
Thank you.
And then there's guidelines as far as, the public hearing.
Right.
And election day, so that's where the dates on the bottom all come in.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, Mary Jane, you're all set at 6 o'clock as far as maybe you could mention in the paper?
From August 14th to September.
Yeah. That'll be the regular meeting starting at 6.
And the budget meetings also.
Hmm?
The budget
We
meetings.
should give you a
Well,
copy
it'd
of
be followed
this.
by a budget meeting, but
But then there's 2 Mondays where there's just a budget meeting.
So,
Yeah,
The
we just,
budget
we need to
meetings
give
will
Mary
also
Jane a
start at
copy
6.
of this.
the meetings, then. Let's call it the meetings.
okay.
Let's call it the meetings.
Everything
Yes.
starts at 6.
Okay, I made a motion that we start the meetings at 6 o'clock. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried, okay. Thank you, Jim. Any business not listed above?
I did register the town for a survey for the solar panels here and on the town garage, and once there's some numbers available, I'll ask the company to come in, I'll ask them to get on the agenda and
Good.
make a presentation to the board.
The only thing I could say is, talking about the budget again, maybe I say this every year, but I think I really mean it, especially this year. We have our work cut out, we really do. To stay under that tax cap, we can't cut off our nose to spite our face. We've got to be able to put out a budget that's going to work for the people of the town of Highlands. We can't need $5,000 and say, okay, instead of giving the ambulance reserve fund 20,000, let's just give them 15. We can't keep doing that. We have to fund these reserve funds because bottom line, they have a purpose. The ambulance corps is going to say in another 6 or 8 years, we need $150,000 for another ambulance. So we've got to do our homework, we've got to do our work, and I won't say the magic word of going over the tax cap. So I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Excuse me, you didn't do public comment.
Public comments on anything, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm just, Roy Kepler from 5 Eagle Crest, Fort Montgomery. I'm just trying to get some information on where the water, I guess it's Water District 2 stands. There's been a flurry of activity at the pumping station on the end of the cul-de-sac of Eagle Crest. And I don't know if anything's happening. I hear things, but I don't know. And I don't know if anybody here really has.
Okay, you live on the Eagle Crest? I
Yeah,
assume.
yeah.
And which house do you live on? If I'm looking at Eagle Crest, are you on the right or?
I'm on the left.
On the left side, okay.
I just, well, there's a house at the end, and then one there, and ours.
Well, and Justin, please correct me along the line here.
Sure.
If I'm wrong. We look to have Corbin Hill entirely online by the end of the fall, October, November.
That's the hope.
Somewhere around there. The houses up on Eagle Crest will have more pressure than they have now, and that'll be coming from the pump house. So when the town takes over the water company, we're taking over the pump house, the tank, and everything else. That's all going to be ours, and we're aiming at October, November.
No, that's dead on accurate. The only reason there's some uncertainty in the supervisor's voice is that the entirety of the transition has to be approved by New York State Public Service Commission, and they occasionally work slowly. So we're interacting with them. We actually have a conference call scheduled with representatives tomorrow. So that's the sort of vagary in the timing of the issues, but pretty much all the other issues have been worked out. There's minor little.
I've worked with the commission through the utility company.
Understood then. You know better than me then.
But there are some things that fall under the commission's things that you people may want to bring up because of different terrorist things and what have you. That facility is supposed to be entirely fenced in, so nobody could get in, and you can walk around the fence now.
Mm-hmm. We're aware of that. No, we're aware of that.
You know, I mean, there's a fence, so to speak. But, okay, I just wondered the flurry of activity, and I didn't know if the town was making Corbin Hill Water upgrade that, or the town is upgrading it, but it was good to see something happen.
Oh, yeah. And just so you know, too, now, the homeowners have obtained a bond, which you will be paying separately as homeowners of Corbin Hill.
Right.
Other than that, you'll be paying exactly the same as anybody else in Water District Number 2. So there's no extra charge for Corbin Hill, other than the bond that you've
Yeah.
taken out.
Does the
of.
bond continue after we're tied in, or how does that work?
Well, oh, yeah, you'll have to pay off your bond,
Okay.
and then once that's done, so you'll be just paying exactly what everyone else in the Water District pays.
It's just-
Am I explaining that right now?
No, you're explaining that correct.
Okay, we've had a couple of people say, how come we got to pay more up there?
Yeah.
Well, you're not paying any more for water than anybody else in the district. It's the bond that and the Water District Number 2 is putting also $150,000 into acquiring this. The trust,
Sure, the settlement trust from the original litigation.
$50,000 in it. And I think the homeowners are putting 200?
It's more, it's anticipated to be more than that, but some of it are projections and depending on where the numbers all
Yeah,
come out, but
There's some things, and I'm not going to get involved in that, but the homeowners association, we are not in the homeowners association.
Understood.
And I don't know what they're.
sure.
The pennies are in a bunch about, but anyway, they have all sorts of, and they try to get us involved, and we said, I don't know, yeah, we're not in the association, we really don't have.
And as far as the homeowners, the bond, and you folks on the Hill, the town's not going to get involved in it either.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think,
So long-term.
we know that the homes up there, we're not part of the association.
Correct, and so long-term, right now, as one of the single-family homes, you're paying the Corbin Hill system, whatever
Yes.
water charges, and you're also paying for being in the town water district,
Right.
right? So ultimately, you'll only be paying the town for water district charges. So long-term, it's a beneficial deal for all of the homeowners at Corbin Hill.
What I assume, but it's good to mention, I guess we'll all be notified when we're on a different system than the system.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, because there's a little bit of construction and some timing issues with taking over and making sure there's not contamination in the system. So you'll be getting notices.
And if I'm taking up too much time.
That's fine, go ahead.
I'm also hoping, since we had one house burned just about to the ground, that a few
Yep.
hydrants, fire hydrants.
I think we're putting 4 more in.
At least 4 more, and that was one of the reasons that it was appetizing to the town and the water district to have better fire suppression on the top of the hill, and absolutely. And that's the reason for the acquisition of the tank. That'll help with that as well. The town didn't previously have a water tank, so certainly fire suppression's been talked about, and there'll be improvements.
And it makes no difference to me. Some people are worried about wells and whether the reservoir, the water's been fine for me. But I guess we'll be on the reservoir water after the tie-in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be getting water from the village water plant.
Yeah.
That's where we get it. Yeah.
I think I know where the 2 tie-ins are supposed to be. One of them's like 40 foot and one's 80 foot.
Yeah, one by the school and one on the road up on top. On the,
Thank you very much. Just
Yes,
information.
and any
It just helps
kind-
us to know.
Any kind
Absolutely.
of questions you have, my door is always open.
Okay.
Pat Patterson, our highway superintendent, water commissioner, he's got all the answers too, so he's got more answers than I've got. Yes.
I got a lot of information that I wasn't sure
Good,
this was
very
the
good.
right place to get it or not.
Yeah, absolutely,
Thank you.
yes, sir. Anyone else? Okay. No, Tierney, you can't ask no questions. Your hand up. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, June, Chief, well, sit downstairs in my office when you get a moment.